Today's lesson is natto, Japan's sticky and nutritious superfood. Hi, everybody. I am Roger.
And I'm Mike.
And today we're going to continue talking about natto. This is a staple, I guess, in the Japanese diet. I suppose in Japan there are people who love it, and there are also people who don't like it, like stinky tofu. I don't think everybody in Taiwan necessarily likes stinky tofu. I think there are some people who don't like it. I never really developed a taste for it myself, but my wife and daughter love it. But natto is a different story. I think we all like it pretty much, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. It's a sticky and nutritious superfood from the land of the rising sun.
All right, so yesterday we learned a little bit about the history of natto and also how it's made. So today we're going to turn our attention to the healthful benefits of natto and why maybe if you're natto a fan, do you like how I did that? If you're natto
It kind of works, it kind of doesn't.
If you're not a fan of natto, you might want to change your mind about that because we're going to tell you about all the wonderful things it can do for your body. So maybe get over that texture, the gooey kind of funny feeling it has in your mouth when you eat it. Get over that. Find a way to enjoy it because your body might be really excited about all the natto that maybe you're going to be putting into it very soon after you learn all the great stuff in our article. Let's start at the beginning with small beans, big nutrition.
Small beans, big nutrition. It might look strange, but natto is packed with good stuff. Not only is it an excellent source of plant-based protein and dietary fiber, but it also contains many important vitamins and minerals. These include vitamin K2 and calcium, great for your bones, magnesium, supports your nerves, and iron, helps with energy production and muscle function. On top of that, the fermentation process fills natto with probiotics, friendly bacteria that help keep your gut healthy.
大家好，第一部分介绍名词 muscle， 它的意思是肌肉。例如 Sam's arm muscles are huge. Sam 手臂的肌肉很壮。或者 My muscles ache from having worked out yesterday. 我的肌肉因为昨天健身而疼痛。继续看到名词 gut， 表示肠道、消化道。例如The human gut contains many bacteria that are beneficial to our health. 人体肠道中含有许多对我们健康有益的细菌。或是 Everything we eat and drink passes through the gut. 我们吃喝的一切都会通过肠道。
Those beans are small, they're pretty tiny, but these beans offer you a lot of nutrition. Natto is very nutritious. It might look strange, but natto is packed with good stuff. There are different ways to serve natto. Here in Taiwan, I think I had it at one of the sushi restaurants. It was served like sushi. It had the seaweed wrapped around it.
Yeah.
But I think in other places, they just serve it on a little dish or something by itself without the seaweed. But no matter how you take it or how you eat it, it might look strange because, yeah, they're just these little tiny beans on a plate with all that sticky stuff on it. So yeah, it might look strange or unusual, but natto is packed with good stuff. So if something's packed with something, you've got a lot of things in a very small space, okay? So you could have your mouth packed with food, for example. If you stuff yourself silly at the night market, boy, that's really good, and you keep putting food in your mouth, yeah, your mouth will be packed with food. Or your suitcase might be packed with souvenirs that you bought when you're traveling and you want to bring them back and give to your friends. You've just got all sorts of stuff in a small space.
There you go. So there's a lot of healthy ingredients inside natto. Let's find out exactly what we're talking about. It says not only is it an excellent source of plant-based protein and dietary fiber, but it also contains many important vitamins and minerals. Okay, so there's a basic description there. Not only is it an excellent source of plant-based protein and dietary fiber. Often when we begin a sentence with not only and then have a but later on, the first clause or the first statement is kind of the obvious one, the one a lot of people might already know and be able to guess. It's made of soybeans. We know soy is very good for you. Tofu is good for you. Soybeans in general, they are a good plant-based source of protein, so you're getting protein, which a lot of people would normally get from eating meat, but here you're getting it from plants, which is great, and also explains why a lot of vegetarians eat more soybeans than other people might. They need that protein. It's a good way to get get that. A lot of us know that. Dietary fiber, getting fiber in your diet is also very important for your tummy and all that kind of stuff. And dietary fiber, just having to do with your diet, having to do with the normal food that you might consume and how you're getting it. So it's not fiber that is you're taking through it in a medicine form or something. It's provided in your diet. It's provided in the food that you eat, which is often the healthiest way to get these things, right? Instead of taking a pill or supplements, you can just get it from your food. So that's pretty obvious. Soybeans are good for you, but it says it also, natto itself, contains many important vitamins and minerals that may not be present in other forms of tofu or in other forms of soybeans because of how natto is made. So let's find out about some of these other extra bonus things that you can get by eating natto.
Indeed. So again, natto contains lots of nutrients like vitamins and minerals, and these include vitamin K2 and calcium, which is great for your bones. We've also got magnesium, and that supports your nerves. Magnesium is good for your nerves. And we've got iron, which helps with energy production and muscle function. So these are some of the examples that we have for the nutrients available in natto. Of course, it's very nutritious. Again, we got some vitamins there, vitamin K2. We've also got calcium. Again, that's good for your bones. And if you have bad nerves, maybe if you react kind of slowly to stimulus around you, then it helps with your nerves. That's the magnesium, which is a nutrient in natto. And again, you've got iron, which helps your muscle growth. So if you want to have big muscles and be really strong and impress all the ladies, then there's going to be iron in natto. You should eat a whole bunch of it.
There you go. Or if you're an older person, it'll just keep your muscles strong and last longer so that you're able to stand and move and do things because, of course, your body does wear down over time. So natto sounds like it's healthy for people of all shapes and sizes and ages in your life. It's just a good thing to have in your diet. On top of that, so if that's not enough, we have more for you. On top of that, or further, the fermentation process fills natto with probiotics, friendly bacteria that help keep your gut healthy. Oh yeah, this is something that people have become much more aware of in the last few decades. Gut health and probiotics. So by fermenting things, by having them kind of rot in a way, but turn from one food stuff into another in the same way that we make yogurt and things like that, some of those bacteria become probiotics. They're friendly or healthy bacteria that are good for you. A lot of people think bacteria bad. Wash your hands, wear a mask, use alcohol spray. But no, there are good bacteria. And if you've ever done any reading about gut health, there are bacteria in your stomach that help you process food, that help your system stay strong and healthy, and these should be encouraged. Some people take probiotics as a supplement, as a pill, and some people just try to have a little cup of yogurt or something every day to have some of those things in their stomach because gut health or intestinal or gastrointestinal health is very, very important. When we say your guts, we basically mean your food processing system from your stomach to your intestines to where the food comes out as poop down at the end. That's all about your gut. So it's all about how your food is processed in your body, the nutrients your body gets from it. And in many ways, they talk about the brain-gut sort of connection, right? Your stomach's health can have a lot of influence on your emotional happiness as well. I mean, we've often felt that situation where you're nervous and you feel it in your stomach, those butterflies in your stomach. So there is definitely a connection between your emotions and your stomach and your gut, your gastrointestinal system, to use the medical term. And having a happy gut and having a happy brain makes for a happy person. And apparently natto can help you move a few steps towards that. So many, many good reasons in that paragraph to eat some natto. And more good reasons to keep reading on. Let's find out about love at first bite.
Love at first bite? Natto is often described as an acquired taste, which means it might take a few tries to enjoy it. It's commonly called sticky, slimy, pungent, and even a little cheesy. Still, natto remains a favorite breakfast food in Japan. Traditionally, it's mixed with soy sauce and mustard, then served on rice. Some people also add a raw egg or chopped green onions. Others enjoy it on toast, in sushi, or tossed into salads. There are plenty of creative ways to eat it.
第二部分看到形容词 pungent， 它的意思是气味刺鼻的，味道强烈的。例如 Danielle didn't want to try a slice of the pungent cheese. Danielle 并不想尝试那一片气味刺鼻的起司。 再一个句子 The pungent stench of animals grew stronger as we approached the barn. 随着我们接近牛舍，强烈的动物臭味越来越浓烈。往下看到动词 remain， 它的意思是仍然是保持持续。例如 The people who were stuck in the elevator remained calm. 被困在电梯里的人保持了冷静。也可以说 Although I have many watches, this black one remains my favorite. 虽然我有很多手表，但这只黑色的表仍然是我的最爱。接着介绍名词 mustard， 表示芥末、芥末酱。可以说 Would you like mustard or ketchup on your hamburger? 你想在汉堡上加芥末酱还是番茄酱？又或者说 My father likes his hot dogs with mustard and onions. 我爸爸喜欢他的热狗配有芥末和洋葱。再来我们看到形容词 creative， 指的是有创意的、具创造性的。举例来说 Stan is a very creative person. Stan 是个很有创意的人。又或者说Shauna is very creative and often makes new games for her younger brother. Shauna 很有创意，经常为她弟弟想出新游戏。
Okay, here's the second part of our article for today. The title is Love at First Bite. Is that it? Of course, this is kind of related to the phrase we use for boys and girls when the boy sees the girl for the first time. Oh, it's love at first sight. When I saw the girl, I fell in love with her right away. It doesn't really seem to happen in the other direction. If she saw him, she tends not to fall in love at first sight. She has to get to know him first and talk to him for a while before she decides that she's actually in love with him. But yeah, that's love at first sight. But here we're kind of making it into love at first bite. If you bite this food, do you fall in love with it right away? And here it says natto is often described as an acquired taste, which means it might take a few tries to enjoy it. I don't really feel that way about natto myself, but some foods do require that. They always say that about beer. Lots of people try beer and they say, oh, how could you drink this stuff? It tastes so bitter. How could anybody drink this? But they say, oh, it's an acquired taste. Okay, you need to drink it for a while after several days or weeks or whatever. And then when you do get used to it, you'll actually like it.
I think there's those foods that are kind of an acquired taste for young people, like young kids. They don't like onions and things. I think that's kind of a universal thing. But as they grow up, they'll learn to appreciate them. And then also culturally, I think you said like beer. I often think of cheese, right? People in Asian countries who might not eat cheese very often, they might find cheese a little weird. But for foreigners coming to Taiwan, stinky tofu, natto, what's the other one? Oajin, that kind of oyster omelet. Yeah, that can be an acquired taste. You can learn to like it, but the first time you try it, you might go, oh, I'm not sure about that. But later on, if you try it and keep an open mind, you might develop a passion and a love for it. But at first, it might be a little challenging. And that is partly the issue with natto, and then it is also partly because of both the flavor of the food and the texture. It says it's commonly called sticky, slimy, pungent, and even a little cheesy. Okay, sticky food, that's not too strange. But as I mentioned earlier, that's often found in Western foods as sweetness, right? Not a sticky flavor that we associate with something savory or salty or something. So that's a little strange. It's slimy. It has those sort of gooey bits that kind of string together. And again, food is not usually slimy, or if the food is rotting, it might become slimy. Like if your chicken is slimy and you take it out of the fridge, it's probably best not to cook that because it might be a little off. It might be a little too old. It's starting to rot and could make you sick. So slimy is often connected with food that is unhealthy. It's pungent. Pungent meaning it smells very strongly. Chodofu would be pungent. Blue cheese would be pungent. You can tell if someone has it open even before you walk into the kitchen because the smell might be sort of floating around the space around it. So it's very strong smelling. And it's even a little cheesy. Some people describe it as being kind of cheesy. That's actually a selling point for me. I like cheese. But if you're not a fan of cheese or kind of go, why are the beans cheesy? They shouldn't be like that. That could definitely put you off. So yeah, there are definitely some things about it that might not make natto the most attractive food for someone who's never tried it.
Yep, these are ways we can describe natto: sticky, slimy, pungent, cheesy, etc. Still, natto remains a favorite breakfast food in Japan. So even though we can describe natto in these ways which are not really favorable for this food, still, nevertheless, it is a favorite breakfast food in Japan. Okay, I never thought of it as being a breakfast food, but I guess you could have it for breakfast. Traditionally, it's mixed with soy sauce and mustard, then served on rice.
Yeah, we'll definitely add some flavor, some savory flavor, not a sweet flavor. We often use mustards with meats and things like that, so you can definitely add some mustard to it. But then you serve it on rice, so you might just have a little pile of natto and a bowl of white rice with a little bit of mustard on the side, and that's how you eat it. But some people kind of fancy it up a little bit. They add some other things. Some people add a raw egg or chopped green onions. Yeah, that's another thing that Japanese people will do for breakfast that Western people might go, ugh, is they'll crack a raw egg onto their rice and just kind of mix it in. So you get this sticky rice. Very good for you, but most Western people would want to cook the egg before you eat the egg at breakfast. Having raw egg is something that boxers do or something like that in movies. Western people don't usually consume raw egg and might actually think that it's dangerous or unhealthy. But you can do that, or you can add some chopped green onions. Get those green onions, which we also sometimes call scallions, and chop them up. Just get a small handful and sprinkle it over top. A very, very nice little garnish. We often add chopped green onions to the tops of many dishes just to add a little bit of oniony flavor to it. So you can do it that way. That's the traditional way. Or you can be really modern, and it says others enjoy it on toast, in sushi, or tossed into salads. There are plenty of creative ways to eat it. So these are some other ways to eat some natto. Maybe if you're on the go, you can't enjoy that bowl of rice, so you just slap some on top of some toast as if you're adding jam or peanut butter to your toast. Eat it that way. You can put it with sushi, so you can actually have it with that raw fish, or use it in a roll or something like that. You can toss it into salads the same way you would throw other vegetables into a salad and just kind of mix them in. We don't mix the salad. That's the expression we use. We toss the salad. So often you'll make the salad, and then you'll pour the dressing over the top, the oil and vinegar, whatever it is. And instead of just letting that kind of drip through the salad, you get 2 big spoons or whatever, and you kind of flip the salad, you toss the salad. You're mixing the salad and the dressing and all the different vegetables. You're mixing them all together. But it says there are plenty of creative ways to eat it. Basically, you can eat natto any way you want. The only limits are your imagination. You can be very creative. You can be very imaginative. You can be very novel. You can try new things. Get some nacho chips and use natto as a salsa. You can just kind of scoop it up with the chips and eat it while you're watching a baseball game. You can put it on ice cream. You can do whatever the heck you think is good. As long as you get it into your stomach, natto will be giving you benefits.
I wonder if you can have it on pizza as
well.
Ooh,
natto pizza.
That might be very creative, or a creative way to eat natto.
I'm sure someone's done that. That actually doesn't sound too bad.
I might try it after our class today.
Pizza's cheesy already.
Indeed. Yeah. Cheese and natto, they might be kind of the same thing. Yeah. But let's end things up now by listening to the final part, and then we'll come back to say goodbye.
With its strong flavor and texture, natto isn't for everyone. But as a superfood loaded with health benefits, it definitely has its loyal fans.
第3部分看到形容词 loyal， 它表示忠诚的、忠心的。可以说 The shop is blessed with many loyal customers. 该商店有幸拥有许多忠实顾客。最后一个例子 One of the reasons Nancy likes dogs is that they are loyal. Nancy 喜欢狗的原因之一是它们很忠心。
Okay, here in the third and final part, we wrap up our subject here about natto. With its strong flavor and texture, natto isn't for everyone. So yeah, again, you either love it or you hate it. I think it's okay. I don't either love it or hate it. But yeah, I guess they say that this is one of those things that you either like it or you don't. But as a superfood loaded with health benefits, it definitely has its loyal fans. So remember, if you're loyal, you just continue to support someone. Like a dog is always described as being loyal to his master. He will always be there for you. He'll always support you. He will never betray you. And yes, natto has its loyal fans. If you love natto, you're going to eat it for the rest of your life. Okay, we're at the end of our discussion for today. Here comes Hanny.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。课文第一部分提到纳豆富含有益物质。Not only is it an excellent source of plant-based protein and dietary fiber, but it also contains many important vitamins and minerals. 它不仅是植物性蛋白质和膳食纤维的极佳来源，它还含有许多重要的维生素和矿物质。那这边我们来整理 not only ... but also ... 的用法。Not only but also 表示不止怎么样还怎么样，不仅...而且...那它是配对连接词，必须连接两个词性相同的字词。在连接动词的话，时态必须一致。例如 He not only paints but also writes poems. 他不但会画画，还会写诗。这边就是连接两个现在式的动词。另外，如果要连接两个主词，那么动词是要配合最靠近的主词。例如Not only the dining table, but also the chairs need to be replaced. 不只是餐桌，还有椅子都需要换掉。那动词 need 就是配合最靠近它的主词 the chairs， 所以是用 need 不是用 needs。接着，如果我们把这个 not only 摆在句首，用来连接两个子句的话，并不是写作 not only 主词加动词 but also 主词加动词哦。首先，这个 not only 它后方的子句是要倒装的，也就是把 be 动词或助动词移到主词前方，形成 not only be 动词加主词，或者是 not only 助动词加主词加动词。至于 but also 它在连接子句时， but 和 also 可以择一省略。如果你想要保留 also， 那 also 它必须摆在 be 动词之后或是一般动词之前。那我们看一下结构，就会是 but 主词 also 动词，或者是 but 主词 be 动词加 also ...举例来说 Not only is he a talented actor, but he's also a great singer. 他不仅是个有天分的演员，也是个很出色的歌手。注意例句里面用到的结构就会是 Not only is he 怎么样怎么样， but he's also 怎么样怎么样。好，同样在课文第一部分，有一句他提到说 The fermentation process fills natto with probiotics. 发酵过程使纳豆富含益生菌。Probiotic 就是益生菌。那它的字首 pro 表示支持、赞成什么的，或是亲什么什么的。Biotic 则是来自希腊单词 bios， 跟生命有关。好，那另外文中它用到动词 fill 来表达使装满、充满。Fill A with B 就表示将 A 装满 B， 用 B 把 A 填满。它也常常用被动语态 be filled with something 来表达。我们看两个例句 The crowd filled the place with applause and cheers. 群众让现场充满了掌声与欢呼声。The basket is filled with fresh fruit. 篮子里有满满的新鲜水果。好，那以上就是今天重点整理，我们来回顾今天单字吧。
Muscle. Christy hurt one of the muscles in her leg at soccer practice last night. Gut. Glenn felt a pain in his gut after drinking some milk that had gone bad. Remain. Although she was nervous before it started, Ashley remained calm during the entire interview. Mustard. This sandwich includes chicken, cheese, tomato, onions, lettuce, and mustard. Chop. Leon chopped the carrot into small pieces and then added them to the salad. Creative. Iris has a creative mind and loves designing new products. Loyal. Some fans stayed loyal to the team, even when it was losing most of its games.
Discussion Starter starts now!
Here's our discussion starter for today. The question is, have you ever eaten natto? If yes, what did you think of it? If no, would you like to try it? Why or why not?
Well, I will say yes, I've had natto before. I specifically ordered it at a local Japanese fast food restaurant chain. I thought it was fine. I mean, I thought the texture was a little weird, but the flavor was quite mild compared to what I might imagine, and it is definitely something that I would look to try again, although Although I'm not sure I would make it part of my regular diet, I would not be afraid to eat it again.
Well, I have eaten natto, but let's go back in time about 1 year or 2 years when I didn't eat natto. So here's my answer. No, I've never eaten natto, but I would like to try it because it's kind of interesting to think what that slimy stuff, those little fibers would do to my tongue. Maybe if they're strong enough, they might actually wrap around my tongue and be painful. Well, that brings us to the end of another edition of our program, and please make sure you join us again next time. From all of us here, I am Roger.
I am Mike.
See you next time.